Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, bye. $3 welcome. Why they can't put me for big screen? Huh? I said, why this people can't put me for big screen?
Everybody will be big screen on their side now. Abi?
My destiny helper.
Yes. Jesus. Wait there.
U.S. can exclusively reveal. Filings from state attorney's office revealed both Eddie and Wendy's various records were seized by law enforcement who are investigating the couple's alleged insurance fraud after they, quote, faked a break-in at their home.
So, quick one. I saw a footage of Man City training.
I need to restart.
For what of it?
Okay. I'll follow you and start.
I will restart and come back. It's up.
For someone that I've watched
Me
it 4
too.
times,
You
I
get
can
it.
see
You
that
get
level with energy, aggressiveness, hunger. It's a worry for other teams.
Yes. Exactly.
It's a worry for other teams. And that's why I said you don't go all out against, like Sheikh said, Haaland is in the form of their life. Yeah. The first time ever after 5 games, we've never seen a Man City start the season like this. And they are starting like house on fire.
They say that Wendy and Eddie were arrested on October 9th and were subsequently hit with a slew of charges, including conspiracy, false and misleading info, and insurance fraud. The state's index of information produced in discovery revealed that investigators gained access to the Real Housewives of Potomac Star's Gmail account, as well as a third Gmail account that did not include either of their names. Excuse me, a burner? Those emails were accessed via a search and seizure warrant served to Google. You may recall in Wendy's response, they were saying that some of this information that was collected, they were first saying that their arrest was illegal, and they were questioning the validity of the search of their home. Additionally, Wendy's Instagram accounts, which were a target of the investigation after she posed with a ring she claimed was stolen, were also the subject for a search and seizure warrant, which was served to Meta platforms. I'm not surprised, but the fact that we're getting more details, through Meta, investigators were able to access Wendy's Instagram with the handle The Dr. Wendy Show, not her official Instagram, another Instagram, as well as her main account, the handle Wendy Asefo. A search and seizure warrant was also served on Wendy's Apple ID. Another was served to a company called TextNow Inc., as well as home security companies Ring Protect Incorporated and ADT Security Services. That's important to know because in our coverage of the story, one of the accusations that law enforcement and the prosecution has against Wendy and Eddie is the fact that they said that they had a burglary when they were away in Jamaica. However, investigators discovered that the ADT system that they have within their home saw no activity. The Ring Protect was for the front door, and apparently that only saw activity for an Amazon delivery. In addition to the search and seizure warrants, the Discovery Index also included bank records from Ally Bank, American Express, and Capital One. Several luxury real retailers were listed as contributing to the discovery, including Van Cleef, Louis Vuitton, Saks, and Ascot Diamonds. Additionally, the state responded to Wendy and Eddie's claims that their arrests were illegal, due in part to, quote, defects in the charging documents. They also said that any statements made by the defendant were voluntary and made after the defendant was properly advised of his or her rights. So this is what we were talking about when we first reported on Wendy's response legally. And we said that it seems as if this is protocol. We had Ms. Esquire, we had another attorney, apologies, I can't think of everyone's name right now, call in and share their thoughts legally. And a lot of people were saying that this was Coco Esquire. There we go, Coco. Forgive my brain, not my heart. So they all said that this seems like it would be protocol, that we saw this with Karen as well. Didn't mean that what they were saying was fact. Unless there was some sort of, like, they did not follow the proper protocol when it comes to the police. So additionally, the state responded to Wendy and Eddie's claims that their arrests were illegal, due in part to, quote, defects in the charging documents. They also said that any statements made by the defendant were voluntary and made after the defendant was properly advised of his or her rights. So that was a question that I had. I was like, so are they saying that they weren't read their Miranda rights?
Get up with us,
They're saying that they were. The state also appears to be attempting to try Wendy and Eddie as co-defendants, despite the couple requesting to be tried separately.
Hmm.
We talked about that as well. I will tag the victims who call in and share their different legal perspectives. The state said the defendant will not be prejudiced by a jointer of his or her trial with co-defendants, and he or she will not be prejudiced by a jointer
Hi,
of charges.
Shani.
The state further claimed that there is no defect in the charging document. As the U.S. Supreme Court revealed, Wendy and Eddie faced multiple charges after police alleged they seemed to fraudulently collect money from their various insurance providers. Wendy also lost her employment as a professor at Wesleyan University following the arrest, although her representative insisted she resigned and was not dismissed. During their appearance at BravoCon this weekend, Wendy briefly addressed her and her husband's arrest, and Eddie was in the audience of the RHOP panel as well.
Hi, Big Baron. Give me.
In a quote, they said, "You know, it's an unfortunate situation, and right now I can't say too much, but I will say when the time is right," she told the audience. For me, it felt like a setup of, I will talk about this on Real Housewives of Potomac, extending, because honestly, this case could extend Wendy's lifetime on Potomac for at least 2 years, because they haven't even gotten to a trial date yet. All the hearings that they were supposed to have been pushed back. So this could be extended for a period of time. And let's say she doesn't go to jail and Eddie does. This could extend her time even more. And Wendy just secured her spot on Real Housewives of Potomac probably for like 3-4 years, if we're going to be honest. So she said, "I will share my story with everyone, and for now, they're just allegations, so we will continue to push forward." So, the Real Housewives of Potomac couple were detained in Maryland after being accused of falsely reporting that their 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, $1 million residence, that home is not $1 million, right? I mean, maybe round up, but that home is not $1 million, and which was interesting because some of you, when this initially came out, were like, and she's talking about renovating her home, and in this week's episode, they, shady producers, but not shady, this is part of her storyline, we're doing all these renovations to our home, $100,000 in renovations. And some of you said it doesn't make sense to invest that amount of money based off the area and the value of the home. It didn't make sense in the renovations.